Hello, hello, everybody. I am Lucky Wood, and welcome to the Lucky Ones podcast. Tonight, I am joined by a fabulous lady out of the great country of Canada. Just kidding, Canada, and out from Winnipeg, but she's visiting. She's just traveling, hopping all over everywhere, and we're super excited to have Miss Ellen Heron on tonight. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me, Lucky. This is
Of
awesome.
course. I'm really excited. I met you obviously through your Ryan,
Mhm.
and he's great, and he's really obviously gung ho about female arm wrestling, which we really appreciate. All the male arm wrestlers that really take us seriously and want to see us grow and everything. So I was really grateful to him for introducing us and making tonight happen.
Yeah, thank you. It's actually pretty amazing here. I feel like there's so many supportive individuals in our sport in Manitoba. So it's really made it fun. And my husband, Ryan's hopped on and he's really supportive. He really wants to help me grow my classes. And so, yeah, he's out there promoting and trying his best to bring more ladies to the table for us.
I love it. I love it, love it. It's really sweet. So tell me, what got you into arm wrestling?
It was my husband. All through the pandemic, he was watching YouTube and he was watching tons and tons of videos. I didn't even know he was watching it most of the time. And then, right as soon as all the restrictions lifted here, he goes, I'm going to go check out an arm wrestling tournament. And I was like, what? Where? Why? What's going on? And yeah, he went off. He loved it. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Like, we have two little kids. I don't understand what this new brand new fascination, but whatever, that's not unlike him to find new hobbies and things.
Right.
And he got in contact with Ryan Espy and decided to go try it out. And then the next time he was going out to practice, he's like, you should come with me. And I was like, okay. I have done all kinds of different sports and I thought, why not? Like, this was basically our reintroduction into society, um,
Right.
after being locked down and out of social circles. And it was so much fun. The group that we were training with was so welcoming and really willing to bring me in and put me up at the table and teach me. And I had a really good time. And it's been maybe just over 2.5 years now.
Wow.
And it's been a blast.
That's awesome. Yeah, this was definitely a great social circle to jump into because it's such a family.
Yeah,
Wanting to
it really is.
arm wrestling for
Yeah,
sure. Do you
yeah.
have ladies at your club, or are you the only
We
one?
do now. We have two young girls. They are, I think, 15 and 18 now,
Okay.
and they're getting pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah.
fun to watch the younger ones come in, and they're doing really well in their junior classes,
Very
and
awesome.
hopefully ready for adult classes soon. They're shy and they're timid. They're so good, and they want to learn. It's really fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know. The shy ones are the ones that trick you. They get up on the table and just like bam. And you're like, oh, okay. What
Right?
happened to that timid girl I was just talking to over in the corner there?
Exactly. Come out of nowhere. Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
So what's
So
been kind of your favorite part these last 2.5 years?
It really has been the community. Everybody is just wanting you there. They're so warm and welcoming. You come, to any event and people are giving you hugs and saying hi, and everybody's willing to train you and teach you. It doesn't matter what side of the table they're on or whose, club they're with. If you come off the table, they're coming up to you and they're telling you, you should have tried this. Even the refs. I was at an event last month and they are like, if you just turned your hand a little bit, or if you had pulled this, position or put your riser up, you probably would have had her. And it's really encouraging.
Yep.
Um, and it kind of keeps you going.
Right.
Um, and I just think it's really a really great sport.
Definitely.
And I've had a lot of fun with it.
What
So
other sports did you play? You said you had some.
I've done lots. As a kid, I played hockey and volleyball and basketball. Anything contact sport, I was good at. I played hockey with the boys.
Nice.
There weren't any girls teams when I was growing up, like close by. They were further away. So I played 4 years of contact hockey until the guys got too big. And then after, I still played hockey wherever I could once I finished high school. And I got into kickboxing and I did some boxing. So anything like that, high impact was always really fun for me. And working out, I like to stay fit.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, I could have probably guessed the hockey part.
That's part of the culture.
Exactly. It was one of my favorite memories. So I played like street hockey growing up when I lived in Chicago. That was like a big thing. And then when we moved up to Minnesota, I got to play around a little bit with some ice hockey.
Nice.
And my dad and I actually went to see the Maple play the Minnesota Wild on
Right.
opening. And that was one of my favorite. There was like one Canadian there in the whole arena, and every time they scored, people were throwing drinks at him,
Oh
cussing
my
at him. It was so great.
God.
It ended up being like 8-7. It was so close, but I mean, it was one of my favorite memories with me and my dad. So like, I
Oh,
totally get that hockey mentality.
yeah. Yeah, there's quite an excitement around it.
For sure. But yeah, basketball too. Like, what did you play like a certain position with basketball, or did you like kind of float around the court?
That's a great question. That was a long time ago. Oh, I haven't thought about that in quite some time.
No, you're good, just curious.
I was a yeah, I would say floater.
Gotcha, gotcha. Fair enough, fair enough.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, I'm coaching the middle school girls team this season, and so basketball's been kind of like arm wrestling still very much like core
Mhm.
frontal, but now like I have this new little like gig that is like oh man, I miss basketball. Like if I didn't have the genetics or the melanin problem, I could have totally gone pro.
Really fun though that you get to teach the girls. Maybe you can bring some of them into arm wrestling.
Right. Oh,
Right?
they actually asked because I did the pay-per-view last weekend
Mhm.
and they were like, "Can we watch?" I was like, "Okay." And so they were all sitting there and they were like yelling and it was so cute. They were really into it.
Oh,
Um they were like, "We don't want to break our arms. We're not doing that." Like you won't break your arm. Well, I can't say you won't, but you can kind of make sure you don't break your arm.
it's kind of funny. I'm sort of fascinated with this fear of breaking arms because every sport that I've done, there's a potential to break more than just an arm.
Right.
I like, and so many head injuries, with hockey and especially contact hockey.
For sure.
And here also in high school, football's still a thing. Like Ryan played football in high school, and
Yep.
that's the one thing. Like I keep telling parents, I'm like, you guys got to get your kids in arm wrestling. There's no head injuries.
That's what I should tell my student that got a concussion on the other night. Oh,
Yeah.
she hit the court hard. It was a crack heard around the court. I
Oh,
felt
no.
so bad.
Oh, that.
But I mean, that's what happens when, the 98-pound girl goes against their center. It's just like
You hit the ball.
I'm so ready for being aggressive, but maybe be aggressive with people your own size.
That was my dad when I played hockey, because of course we were playing contact, and so he was actually our team medic. And his advice to me was go through them, not around them, go through them. So even though I was small and passive, once I put the helmet on, I was ready to go through all the guys and just make sure I made it to the net.
There you go. There you go. I love it. So when you're not arm wrestling, because I know in a family I love it when you can do this with like your spouse or significant other or even like dads and daughters or moms and daughters that do it together or moms and sons that do it together. Like it just changes so much of the family dynamic a little bit when you can add it in that you guys could this is something that y'all can do together. It's a great
Exactly.
family sport. Shout out
It
to arm
is.
wrestling.
No, our kids love it. They're 5 and 8, and they've done a few tournaments this summer. Our eldest, he's won a couple tournaments now. And I found out the other day that my 5-year-old is arm wrestling at daycare every morning. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but he's super into it.
Take their lunch money. Take their treat from their snack.
He's just gonna be ready for provincials. That's all I know.
There you go. There you go. But so what are y'all doing? Like, is arm wrestling kind of taking over at this point, or are y'all still into other things?
Right now, it's mostly arm wrestling, especially for Ryan and I. We practice at SB's club every week, pretty well every week,
Nice.
if not every second weekend or every second week. And then we're trying we have a small gym in the basement, so we're trying to work out every night. And I work from home, so my goal is to get like 3 small workouts in during the day just to keep on it.
I love it.
Get that farm strength back. And because we got a bunch of big tournaments coming up, and
Yeah.
it's game time.
For sure. For sure, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan Espy, I've really enjoyed, I love his show, Can-Am. That's a lot of fun to watch. Of course, it's on always when I'm at school. So sometimes when I'm on break, I like pop in and be like, "Hey." But then I have to always usually watch the replay.
Yeah.
Don't tell him. It puts me to sleep at night. I listen to it at night. He doesn't put me to sleep, but it's something I listen to at night that I enjoy. And then but no, yeah, he does a really good job of staying on top of like women's arm wrestling and shouting out and having female guests on his show. I've been on, I think, twice. Once accidentally, and then once as an actual guest. So it was pretty cool. It's
Yeah,
pretty
he
cool.
got us competing right away. He's like, you just got to get in there. You just got to try it out. So we kind of hit the ground running in a very different way. Like I
Mhm.
had one practice and provincials was coming up. And if you compete in provincials, then you qualify for nationals
Right.
immediately.
Right.
And so nationals happened to be in Winnipeg that year. So the year I started,
Oh,
and so my Ryan, he was like, well, we might as well just try it. We might as well you got to join provincials so that we can do nationals. And I'm like, just okay, I guess so. So one practice and we did provincials. That was my very first competition.
right.
And everyone was great. They knew I was new and they were very kind. And it was fun. And
That's
then
awesome.
after we got to meet a lot of local talent and we got, there again, introduced to the community and all the great pullers around here. And then the next 2 months later, I guess it is, then we had nationals. So I had maybe like 8 more practices and then it was nationals. Uh,
Wow.
I did win one match. I was very excited.
Awesome.
So we're not scared to go in and just
Oh,
try any competition. Like I feel really green still. I feel like I'm still learning tons and still growing
right.
and training. But there's nothing like table time, and that's what we're out for. And we just want to see what kind of competitions out there and get as much experience as possible and meet as many people as possible. And
Yeah.
it's been really fun that way.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
See, and like this, I love all of this story so far because this is exactly what arm wrestling is, and this is what like a lot of us females need are people like yourself who are willing to like just be like, okay, I might lose, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do it, I'm going to, do my best, and whatever happens, it's a learning experience, and then I can just grow from there and take it from there, and like, so you're literally the poster child right now for like, hey, it is possible for somebody to just hear of arm wrestling and be like, okay, let's do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So I love it. I'm
Possible.
loving this.
I have
Um,
met a few girls at after polls who I think are really good. I feel like they are strong enough and have enough, intuition to actually try it. But a lot of them are the girlfriends of arm wrestlers who are there watching. and they probably practice with their significant others or try it out at home. And
Sure.
they really could, like some of them seem really excited, but they're too scared to step up in a competition.
Right.
And I think that's really too bad because most of the time they're there watching anyway.
Yeah.
And I wish they'd just, bite the
Get on the
bullet.
table. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them have a lot of tenacity and a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Um, and they're doing other sports, so they have already natural strength, and it would be really fun to get them up there. And I don't
Mhm.
know, the barrier to entry, there's a little timidness there. I am a very shy person actually by nature, but these kinds of things don't bother me. And I'm very used to being in male dominated industries and sports. I have three younger brothers
Oh,
uh,
wow.
that I played hockey with the boys. We were in rifle club as kids, so it was mixed, but mostly guys.
Sure.
Um, and then I mentioned to you earlier before we went live that Ryan and I met in trade school.
Yeah.
So we were both aircraft maintenance engineers.
That's,
Um, so I used to fix helicopters.
that's so cool. Yeah.
So we did, being around men in, male dominated industries is really normal for me. Of
Right.
course, also growing up on the farm, my family, we did, the expectations were the same for my brothers as for myself. So we
Right.
drove tractors and potato trucks and fed the cows and all of that stuff. It was the
Yeah.
same expectation for all of us. So um, I've never really viewed anything as just for girls
Right.
or just for guys. If a
Right.
guy can do it, so can I.
Love
I
it.
might not do it the same way, but I
Right.
can figure it out, right?
Exactly. No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
There's the clip right there. There's the there's the viral clip. I love it.
nice.
So, what does so we talked a little bit about your training. You said you a lot of table time and you're getting those, about 3 workouts in.
Mhm.
When you do those, are you mostly focusing on like wrist, arm? Are you doing full body? Are you looking at cardio? What?
Um, I need to ramp up my cardio. I feel like my endurance needs to come up big time. I used to have a lot of endurance, and since I now have a desk job, that's changed a lot.
Sure.
So that's something I got to work on. But I do want to work on my wrist. I feel that is something that I just really, really want to develop and change. Um, but I also find it's very mental. It's really fascinating to me at the table, like how small increments can change everything.
Exactly.
So for a while there, I thought, oh, my riser's too weak and I was losing matches, just blaming it on that. Like, oh, I just got to work that out more, whatever. I'll figure it out eventually, right?
Right.
And then I think it was one of the refs had said to me, you're so close. You're really so close. And then I just told myself, like at the next match, that okay, I'm just going to focus on keeping my knuckles closer to me and not allowing it to drop. And I won. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is also a bit of a mental belief in myself that I have to believe I can.
Right.
Um, and so that's kind of interesting. And I don't need, like, I was thinking I needed big wrist movements and climbing really high to get an advantage. And
Right.
in arm wrestling, it seems like sometimes those smallest little movements can really make a big difference.
Definitely.
So that's kind of neat.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Sometimes it's just like, the a quarter inch over on the pad or
Yeah,
you know, just one little creep of the finger and the
yeah,
whole thing just changes.
absolutely. Yeah, it's really interesting.
What
And
up,
now,
Seth? How
oh,
you
what's up?
Hey,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
yeah.
hi, Stephanie.
How are you? Sorry, I came on late.
It's all good. Nice to meet you.
I love it that you're from the farm. Oh my God, I bet you are so strong.
I feel like I used to be very strong.
No, you're still probably strong.
I used to think about when I was 13, I was feeding the cows. I'd have two like 5 gallon pails in each hand and climb a fence. I don't even know if I could do that now.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I'll have to try it. Tomorrow I'll try it.
There you go. Make a video. Post it.
Okay.
Let us see it.
If I end up in the snow, I'm not sending it.
Do Do y'all have snow right now?
Oh my gosh, we got so much now. Yeah.
I'm coming up.
I show you, but it's too dark out. Our lane got blown in. My friend's car got stuck at the end of the lane today.
Oh.
Yeah.
For
So
us Americans, the lane is the driveway.
yeah, yeah, same thing here. My parents' driveway is a quarter mile.
Love it.
Yeah. But yeah.
No, oh man, I want snow so bad. But it just
Here, we've got tons.
I know. I need that's where I need to be. I need to be in Canada and soaking up the snow. I'm gonna be like a true snow bunny and move and get like a house in Canada that I can come hang out with from like November to February and like have white Christmases and
Yes,
ice hockey and do all the things.
You
absolutely.
guys can do that because I like it in San Diego where the sun is still out. Did you see my video I took on me on the way to the gym? I just pulled my
Yes.
phone out and I was like the sun, palm trees.
No, yeah,
We have sun,
I
we have blue
did.
sky, it's just not warm.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind the cold. Like today I did 10 miles and it was 30 degrees out and it was like 30 degree or 30 miles per hour winds. And so I don't mind the cold, but I'd much rather it have snow on the ground
Hmm.
to
Oh
like
my God.
thoroughly enjoy the
You
cold.
would
If
have
it's gonna
been
be cold, I might as well have snow.
you would have done so good at the mountain tournament because it was like 37 degrees outside and
Yeah, it
it
would
was
have been
outside
fun.
and we're
Telling
like
you.
shivering. Oh my God, we were so cold.
The Midwest has frozen your girl's veins. I'm
Oh my
good. The only time where I'm miserable in the cold is if I'm inside and it's cold.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't want to be cold inside. I want to
Hmm.
be like wrapped up in 1,000 blankets with sweatshirts and sweating.
Exactly.
But
We've
if
got
I'm
the
outside, I'm like, it's all good.
as long as you're moving.
Right? Exactly.
Mhm.
So, what's your favorite exercise? What exercise do you incorporate in every single workout?
I like to work on my cupping. I think that's been helping a lot. So we've been doing that with the cable machine. It's usually the one I ask for to do at the end of our practices too. So that's my
Very
go-to
good.
right now.
Do you use the wrist wrench for that? Or
Um, like we have the cable, so we just bring the what are they called? The little straps. Yeah, we've straps. We have a bunch of different little handholds.
very
Um,
cool.
but yeah, whatever we like. Brian also picked up one of those straps with the ball on the end. So that one we would use for a riser and a bunch of different things. It's kind of hard to hold on to, which is probably a good thing. So work on my grip at the same time. But
Very cool.
that's not as fun. That's
No,
okay.
I bet you have an insane grip. Jeez.
Sometimes
Did
I
you
feel like I get locked in a grip though, like once the match starts and I can't climb because I sometimes I will grip too hard on the go and I feel locked in and
Fair.
then I get to climb.
Yeah.
So,
No, I definitely understand that feeling for sure, for sure.
mhm.
do you
You're just
do you
like
like to
holding
train in
on
the
for dear
strap?
life.
Oh,
Huh?
sorry.
Go for
I
it,
asked her,
Stephanie.
do you like to train in the strap?
I do, except that it feels like when I train with the guys that I'm always in the strap. Like SB, for
Yeah.
example, his hand comes to here on my arm.
Yeah.
He's like, bend your wrist, and I'm like, I can't. You've got a cast on me. But
But no one's
we
hand is
do.
small enough to use the strap. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Oh.
But we do like we will bring the strap in and we kind of change it up. So I like that. It doesn't bother me. And I like trying all different kinds of things. I really like the press. I'm still trying to figure out how to get into a press in competition. I feel one of the challenges that I have training with mostly guys is they don't know how much pressure to give me.
Yeah.
So they often let me get in a winning position, and then I don't really get that mid range and losing position as much. So I really have to vocalize what I want to work on and egg them on if I feel like they're not giving me enough. So I actually feel like I'm getting some resistance because I feel like they'll give me a static hold and they'll put me in one spot, but then they're just sitting there and I'm just reaching on them, trying to get them pinned. And it's not quite the same feeling as in a competition with someone more equally matched to strength.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure that out in my head, how I can train them to train me better or help get them to help me better. So
you like pulling outside of the strap then? You're better outside of the strap.
I feel like I'm getting better now. In the beginning, I felt better in the strap when I first started. Like 2 years ago, I actually preferred the strap. But now that I've been developing my wrist and getting better with technique, I would say probably better out of the strap now, but I'm not scared of it. It doesn't bother me. It's not intimidating, not yet anyway. So I'm game for it all. Let's try it out.
Anna Presnell says, pressers scare me to death.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done a press, or maybe, I don't know. Never tried on purpose.
Oh, no way.
I
really like it.
I'm trying to think of which match you did a press in. Because there's one that we posted that you were pressing.
It was? Was it an old one?
Yeah.
I
Forever
forgot.
ago.
Were we drinking afterwards? Just kidding. No, I'm Who wants to arm wrestle if you can't have a drink afterwards?
I don't drink afterwards. Carnivore doesn't. Carnivore doesn't let me though. I would if I wasn't on carnivore. So
there we go.
Yeah, I haven't had any drink since I started my meal plan either.
Sad day.
I know. I just have to be fun without them.
Right.
Right. You have to be careful though, because then you'll sound like an alcoholic. Like, I can't have any fun without it.
I know.
So, where's been like kind of your favorite place to compete? So, like, you jumped in provisionals, you dove right into nationals. You just had Ryan Espy's Arnold qualifier. I mean, you've just been kind of everywhere. So, what's been like your standout competition?
At this point, like definitely that one was one of the best as far as I guess you could say biggest opportunities for me. We did there was a few other events here, East versus West, but I was still pretty green. Not that I don't feel still green. So this one is pretty exciting for me, but really like I thrive on all of the competitions that I've had so far. So they've all been pretty exciting. And we like to travel to Saskatchewan. So, my pool for competitors is not huge. We've got some really good ones who pop in and out. And one of my favorite is Desiree De Silva in Saskatchewan. She puts on such a good tournament and we have such a good time. And I just love going up against her every time. It's such a blast.
Nice.
So I try to seek out those tournaments when I can.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Are you going to Arnold's?
We are. We booked everything. We're ready to go.
Yay!
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah. So we've got another tournament coming up soon in Winnipeg. And I think it's called the Winter Showdown. I'm blanking right now. Vincent Squires is putting that on. So that's going to be really awesome. It was a good turnout last year, so I'm hoping to see more ladies this time.
Nice.
Yeah. And and then of course Arnold's. There'll be a few competitions in between there.
Okay.
And then hopefully the round robin. That would be fun.
Are you going? Did you get invited?
I did.
Oh my God, how exciting.
You'll be in the 154 class.
Yes.
You're going to be in the lightweight class?
Yes. round robin, that's going to be my first experience with that. So that's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to work on my endurance.
Yeah, it's something else when you're pulling 11 other
Yeah.
people back to back, because sometimes like it's just like you get into like one war and it's like, is it worth it? Or is it or is it early enough where I'm gonna let this one go and try on the next
Right.
one?
Yeah, you have to make those decisions to preserve your energy, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's
I'm not very good at that though. I like the wars.
there you go. There you go. Yeah.
And then you get a pump, and then it's
Yeah.
all
Excuse me, sir.
The adrenaline.
I'm
and
doing a podcast and I came back here so I could do it with no lights on. I'm gonna be done in 10 minutes. Would that bother you if I parked here that long? Who am I bothering?
All right. And then but yeah, we just had a whole bunch of I had a war my second round in the round robin last time, and it was great. It was so much fun. I would love to do it again, but now I'm like, if you
right?
gotta
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah, you don't want to gas out too early, that's for sure.
No, no, not at all. But I think he'll do well. I'm excited. And then like I said, like before when we talked about, like, it's just so cool to be able to pull so many different people.
Yeah, that'll be
So,
the most women I've met in one go then at that point.
oh,
Well, other than Arnold's, I suppose. But
sure.
so far, I think the biggest classes I've had so far about 5, maybe 6 at most, but usually we're around 3 or 4 most of the time.
Okay.
We've
That's
had
still pretty decent turnout.
Yeah, yeah.
I know I've been at quite a few where it's been me and one other girl, and we've had to, just super met, best out of two or whatever.
I
But
often pull up just so
great.
that the heavyweights have someone to pull, so I get extra table time, which I don't mind. I don't do well, but I enjoy it.
Right?
I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Sure, I'll be cannon fodder.
That's what I'm excited about. Like, that's one of the benefits I think that I'm kind of excited about that I hadn't really thought about until they released the Michigan weight classes of
Mhm.
like, if I pull more weight classes, I get more matches. And
Medals.
now I'm not just limited to one weight class. It's kind of
Yeah,
nice.
it is nice. I was exhausted. I went to Estevan for one of Desiree's tournaments in November, and I did both weight classes on both arms. And I had some battles for the first time. Like I had a lot, so I was exhausted and tired the next day. But it was so much fun, and I don't care how hurt I am. I want to get back training the next day because now I've got all these ideas floating. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to try this, and I want to work on this, and it's just to me, it's exhilarating to you know come off a match and then just have a rush of new ideas and things I want to work on. Most of the
Exactly.
guys want to take a break though, and I get so frustrated. I'm like, why can't we get back to practicing? Do we need a rest?
Right, right. What is recovery?
Right?
Let's go again.
We don't have to tear arms off. We can talk
Right.
about it. Like, I feel like we just need to debrief a little.
No, I totally get it for sure.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you 100%. I
I feel
actually just did recovery because I practiced yesterday, and so then today I had to do my little sadist soak, which that's not the official name of it, but it's what I call it. So it's hot water and then ice water, and you go back and forth between the two, and I call it the sadist soak because I absolutely hate it. Like,
Mhm.
with a passion. Like, there's nothing I hate more than that. But it's the only it really does. It's really like kept my tendons alive. It's really helped my arms recover in a really decent time
Oh, that's
frame. But I'm just like, why can't it be something fun
I
that
know.
we do? It's not as
I
fun
know.
as pulling.
I know I need to try cold therapy. And I listened to a podcast like a year ago, and they say that over time you will get desensitized to the cold. You still get the benefits of the cold therapy, so you can do the cold shower or the cold plunges, but I have not been able to convince myself to do it yet.
Right? No, it's mentally it's more exhausting, I
Yeah,
feel like, than
yeah,
just going to do a match.
yeah.
So, hey, Shauna Wagner is in the comments. Hello, Shauna. Welcome in, our little cheesehead. Stephanie, I think if you're good, you can.
Yeah, the security guy was came up on his bicycle and trying to kick me out the good parking spot I had, and nobody's around. There's nobody here.
Wait, the security was riding a bike?
A bicycle with the helmet. I should have took a photo of him. Sorry.
No, that's
I didn't mean to ruin anything.
you didn't ruin anything. That's
Okay.
hilarious.
It kind of was.
What's up, Shauna? Shauna says, hope y'all are doing amazing.
Mm.
I'm doing good, Shauna. How are you, babe? So who is somebody that you kind of look up to in the sport? Who's somebody that you're kind of watching that you can, or that somebody who's worked with you, or you're like, oh, I've learned so much from them. Be male or
Um,
female, it's okay.
oh my gosh, there's just so many. I was trying to think of a good answer or pick a specific person. But really, my entire community has been so helpful. I I have a hard time picking one. Um, all the refs, um, all the competitors, just about everybody has, offered advice at some point in time. And I just look up to all of them. There's lots of females and really successful ones just in Manitoba. Actually, Lori Powell, I saw you interviewed her.
Yeah.
She doesn't live that far from my parents, so I've actually met up with her early on, and she was giving me pointers. And there's just so many people that are just so supportive and wanting everyone to succeed. I couldn't think of just one.
No.
But our whole community, like I said, just everyone's so encouraging and wants everybody to do well. So I'm just really grateful for our entire province and beyond. Like I said, Saskatchewan and Ontario, everybody's watching and paying attention and helpful, and it's just so cool to see. And the one thing I noticed, actually, you just made me think of it. At provincials, when I first started this, it felt like the females had equal value to the men, even though there weren't as many of them. Like they were still front and center, they weren't second. Like everybody was still watching and helping, and I thought that was really neat to see. Playing hockey, growing up playing hockey, it kind of felt like women weren't really viewed the same with the same value or weight. And I feel like in arm wrestling, at least from my perspective, that there's still very similar, same respect for women in the sport as there is for men. And that's really, really encouraging to see because there's so much talent out there. And I'm just excited to get out there and meet some more. I'm actually really excited to travel, like to go to the States. My mom, she's actually from Sweden. So whenever we go back to visit, I really want to seek out some clubs out there and find people out there to pick their brains and learn from too. So it's very cool.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I
It
love
sounds
that.
like no drama there.
I
really
mean, I think there can be, but of course there's with people in any group there can be, but
Right.
Regardless, I think once we come together, we're all there to have a good time. And
That's so
and even then, like, there's people just want to enjoy the sport together.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what it should be 100% about. And and I think like it speaks more volumes about the people that you surround yourself that you can't just pick one person, and I think that that's really something special that I wish like so many other women in the sport had available to them because I feel sometimes, you have a woman or a lady or, a young girl who wants to get involved in it and they don't have that, support or they don't feel like their aspect of the sport holds as much weight. And so I feel like it's definitely getting better. I mean, it's grown in just the year that I've been a part of it. I really feel like things are starting to turn and change a little bit. And so I'm really hoping that that wave continues, especially down here in the States and over here on the East Coast where I am, that we
Yeah.
continue to get, taken more seriously and our side gets to hold more weight. So I love hearing it. Kind of makes me like, oh, this is so good. It gives me chills a little bit.
But
That's
like part of that though,
experiencing.
it's you when you're a woman and you're arm wrestler and there's no other women to practice with, you have to really want to be an arm wrestler already. Like if you don't really want to, there are so many things that can discourage you. Like
Yeah.
you have, and sometimes I think that's why there's not as many of us, because some of the new girls could get super discouraged. They could even want to and see it and then try it and be like, oh, I'm not, there's no way for me. You know what I mean? Or
That's something
yeah.
that's something my husband and I have been discussing because we are trying to figure out how to bring more women into the sport and make them feel more comfortable. And like I was mentioning to Lucky, I grew up and I've been in male dominated industries and sports most of my life. So for me, being around men is not intimidating or scary. It's actually kind of more normal for me because I've just always been around guys and men. But I've talked to other women, and that is a big barrier to entry for them. They are intimidated by being around a lot of men, and it makes them nervous, and it does kind of drive some people away. So we were trying to figure out how to make it more welcoming and make it less intimidating, and hold some introductory sessions just for women, introduce them, show them, like what it's about in a safe environment. But it takes a lot of effort, and we're still figuring that out. We tried holding some introductions to arm wrestling. We had a lot of interest, and only one person showed up. And it was not female.
Wow.
We're just trying to go on the whole family aspect and bringing, community together. And then hopefully through that, bring in some women as well. But it's really funny because as strong as the arm wrestling community is here, a lot of people still don't know it exists.
Yeah.
So when I started arm wrestling, I'm like, you wouldn't believe what we're doing now. They're like, oh, they do that here? I'm like, yeah, it's a thing. It's an actual, like we have a league and we have provincials and nationals, and it's amazing how many people don't know about it. And so I think that, I don't know, in my opinion, I'm wondering if one of the keys is to bring up the spectator interest, because once you have more exposure, then you're going to start pulling out those people that are interested in trying it. And then hopefully, but it's going to take some strategy to bring the new blood in.
We have so many people who are, working on, inventing the light bulb, and I feel like we're in like the 200 to 300 attempts so far. So, we got about 200 more attempts before somebody, something clicks and we've invented the light bulb and figured out how to grow the women's arm wrestling.
Right.
Well, sometimes you think if there were already a bunch of ladies at practice, then when a new one comes, then they're just gonna love it more. Like it's like a catch-22. We need a bunch of us to keep more, you know what I mean? Like imagine if you could go to an all ladies practice every weekend.
Right.
And there was like 5 or 6 at least girls there to pull.
Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah. That would be amazing.
Be so exciting.
Right.
But I guess the plus side of that is it's easier to get to the top if there's not that many of us.
Yeah, I think
have you seen the top? The top just destroyed the 34 world champion. I'm good with not being at the top.
I'm at the bottom of the list. I'll be with Ryan Grondin, the worst arm wrestler in the world.
So we call this question to Jessie because my good friend and sweet competitor who I feel really bad because I'm gonna rip off her arm next time we pull together because she beat me and I'm mad about it. Miss Jessie Ondrovrik came up with this question, so we call it the Jessie, and it will forever live on the show. But where do you see arm wrestling going in the next 5 to 10 years?
I see big things. I think it is growing. I think it did gain a lot of interest, like just like my husband. I've heard other people kind of pick it up through the pandemic and watch it and have grown into it. And uh, I think it's like Ottawa Open was a big hit. I think they said they had 700 entries this year. So that's pretty amazing. So I feel like it's growing.
Yeah,
And I just, yeah, I see big things.
I love it. For sure, for sure. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, and then of course, like, what's something you want to see happening? I think we kind of touched on that a little bit, just having more, being able to really grow.
Yeah, it would be nice to see more women. Probably bringing the youth in is our, actually have some really amazing 15-year-olds
Nice.
in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, like some really strong competitors. Like they're up and coming. You don't see them every tournament. They're still quite young. They can't come to every event. But when they come out, they are strong and they have tenacity. Like they really want it. So
Yeah,
the youth are always the key, bringing the generations in, and yeah, I think that's coming.
I love it. Yeah, no, that'd be really great. I think we did an episode not too long ago of Teen Talk, and Itty out of Canada, she was on the episode, and she's t telling us a little bit about, some of the young teens that y'all have up there, and I mean, it's exciting for
Mhm,
sure to hear them talk about, training and wanting to, be on the big stage and do the big promotions and stuff.
mhm,
I hope that fire remains. But then you have the Gabbies and the Sarahs and the Fias who started, as young teens, or
mhm.
young girl, 8. I think Mullen started when she was 8.
Wow,
And so it is possible, any of these ladies could be the next, Gabby, Sarah, or
absolutely.
Mullen for sure.
But then I gotta say on the flip side for me, I mean, I started when I was 40. So
Right, exactly,
that's
exactly.
the cool thing about this sport too, is that it doesn't really matter the age you start at. It's still super fun and you still have, I still feel like I have a lot of potential. So it's
Oh,
keeping me
definitely.
there and keeping me wanting more. So I don't think it's over for me at 40.
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm
No.
done.
No, I'm not. I'm not that far off. I started at 30, well, technically 34. Was I 34? I guess I was 34. No, I was 33. It's 33. Started at 33. Yeah, it's 33. I can't remember. I started when I was 33, and yeah, I just am 34 now, and I'm kind of like you. I'm just like, I just want to see how far I can go.
Yeah.
And the longevity of this sport is something that is very attractive or whatnot.
Mhm.
It's not like something where it's like, all right, you got 1 year,
Right.
you,
Yeah.
you gotta leave.
No, no, it's very cool. Very, very cool.
So, what was your favorite? Tell us about the match you won at nationals. Who was that against?
Um, I don't remember her name. She was from Ontario. That
Okay.
was my my first nationals, and I haven't been back to one because they've been out of province. So we'll be going to nationals next year. Um, but yeah, I was just able to pull her arm out, and I was able to pull a win. I think I might have even got her in a press or close to a press. That was 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. But that was very big for me because, like I said, I'd only been in it for what, 3 weeks,
Yeah,
6,
not
maybe a
not
little bit more,
long.
8 weeks, 9 weeks, something like that. But yeah, it's proof that you find that one advantage or you get you know your hand in there in the right way, you can pull off a win. So it was pretty cool.
That's
Um, but yeah, hopefully more coming.
for sure. So, anyway, sorry, back to the original question. I wanted to hear about the natural, but what has been your favorite match so far?
Um, my favorite matches are always so far with Desiree De Silva in Saskatchewan. We've had several really good ones and back and forth. Yeah, in November, we ended up slipping, but I think I had pulled her into a press and it was just about to, like, it was just so much fun. My body was just vibrating after.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I just love it. It's super.
That's kind of how I feel when I pull Scarlet.
Yeah.
Most of the time when I pull Scarlet, it goes her way. But we have so much fun, like just pulling, and then like afterwards we look at each other like, why do we do this to each other? Oh, I don't know, because we love it, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good motivation, right? If you
It
can
is.
you very closely matched, and then there's you can't stay stagnant because you think, oh, I beat them once, I'm good now. Like, no, they're gonna come back stronger and fiercer the next time. You just can't let your guard down. You have to keep building too. So it's pretty cool that way.
Definitely. Kathy Facey says we have 7 and 8-year-olds at our club. I think the key is to have a very inviting environment for everyone. Shout out to Gord McDonald for providing that in Alamonte. Is that how you say that? Almonte?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah. That's awesome. Hi, Kathy.
Yeah, I just met
Welcome
her
in.
last week. She's awesome. She's super
Yeah,
fun.
because y'all pulled that Ryan Espy's event together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the first time I met her. She flew in, so
Very cool. Very cool. She nice. We like her.
hey, Kathy.
Give me the dirty deeds. No, just playing. I'm friends with her on Facebook. She seems really sweet. I like her.
Yeah, she's very sweet.
Welcome in, Kathy. We're just playing. So, you were able to qualify for Arnold's, which is awesome. So, what are some other accolades that you have gotten so far in arm wrestling?
Last year I won provincials, so I have the current gold in provincials in my weight class. That should be also 154. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, it was 154. I think the weight classes of provincials are slightly different. I can't remember now. Maybe we're all following provincial standards at this time. Some of the tournaments in the beginning were kind of all over the place, so I was constantly trying to like match my weight up, which was really great. I think I've lost about 15 pounds since I started, so it's good motivation.
For sure, for sure.
Those weight classes can keep going down a little bit. Actually,
Right?
I'm pretty happy. I'm sitting pretty much right at 153, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's easy peasy.
Mhm.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, so what's something that you kind of hope that you achieve in the future with it, everything?
I would love to at least place in nationals next spring here, or get the gold would be amazing. That would be quite the feat though, because we've got some pretty good females here.
Sure.
So depending on who travels out to Regina, Saskatchewan. But that would be a great goal. And I've got all of these tournaments to prepare for before that. So I'm hoping I will be very strong by then.
When is your all's nationals?
July, beginning of July.
Okay.
Yeah, and provincials are beginning of May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh yeah, oh wow. So you're gonna hop off that round robin and head straight up for provincial.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got Arnold's in March, and then the round robin in April, and then provincials in May. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And then there's some other, we've had so many tournaments here, like everybody's popping up with all over the place. So my husband and I have been traveling quite a bit to find, more competition and more table time. And
Nice.
so yeah, we've been pretty active, which is pretty fun.
Very cool. Y'all have like your little award shelf in the
Yeah.
workout room and all that jazz.
Currently have a coat hanger hanging from this basement ceiling full of medals.
Fair
I gotta
enough.
come up with something better.
Very cool. So is there anyone in particular, Canada or states wise, that you're like, oh, I can't wait to grip up with them?
I just want to meet as many women as I can. I don't have a target on anyone specifically. Jose Morneau is a world champion in our province. So every time I get to meet her at the table, it's always fun, but she's hard to beat. So definitely in our province, that would be fun to be able to get to her level. But honestly, like I just want to go everywhere and meet up with as many women as I can and just have a blast.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would be your like kind of advice for somebody who's starting out, looking into getting into sport? I mean, like you've said pretty much every perfect thing as far as like let's just do it, just dive
Yeah.
in and go. And like I said, like this has been um everybody just listen to Ellen. Just everybody just listen to Ellen. Ellen. I think everybody who so if you could wrap up what we've talked about so far in a nice little box, what would you say to some ladies who are on the fence?
I would say just get in there and compete. Just try it. Get on, like that's exactly what Ryan Espy got us doing. He said, just do it. You don't know until you do it. And nothing replicates the match like a real match. Like you don't get that setup, you don't get the ready go, you don't get that feeling in practice. You just can't replicate it. And I feel like my best training is on the table in competition, and just do it. You just have to, you know, get over the fear of trying it or losing. Don't worry about losing.
Right.
You've lost lots, and that's okay. But I think that the biggest thing is, you don't know how good you are until you try it and love it more, right?
Yeah.
So
good.
why not?
Oh, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Oh, that was so great. But I mean, it's so true, and that I couldn't have said it better myself. I don't think anybody could have said it better. So great job. Yay. I'm gonna have to clip that and put it everywhere so people share it out. Well, very cool. Well, so we will be on the hunt for you here come April. I'm super excited that y'all are coming down for that.
To meet you
I hope you
guys.
do amazing at the Arnold's. I think, that event is just gonna be absolutely incredible and something really that people are gonna be talking about for a long, long time. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we can't wait. Just we didn't want to miss the opportunity to try it and be there. So, and my husband qualified too, so we both get to compete, which is awesome.
Yay! Well, best of luck to him for sure. Which weight class is he pulling?
Oh, he's gonna kill me because I forget.
He's in the comment. Ryan,
180. He tells me his weight every morning and I can't remember.
You're okay. So he could kind of float between the 176 and the 198 a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry. My
Yeah, he was cutting weight for the Arnold's qualifier because he thought he'd have a better advantage that way. So now he has to keep that weight.
uh-huh. Be like, you can't have this, but I can.
To a point.
Right, fair. That's so great. Well, very cool. Well, I'm super excited for everything that's coming up for you guys this next year. I'm excited to get to meet you for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I thank you so much for, being willing to hop on and tell your story and be just an inspiration to a lot of up and comers. And even some veterans who, forget sometimes what's important. And so this is great. I really appreciate this interview a lot.
Thanks, Lucky. I appreciate you. It's been great. And I'm glad to meet you, Stephanie.
Super yeah, nice to meet you too.
Very cool. Stephanie, what you got coming up next?
Tomorrow I'm pulling.
Where?
It's like 2 hours away.
Is it a secret?
No.
Or you forgot?
Where's the address? Wait, all I know is I'm picking up Kyle at 9:00.
Girl.
And And they made a flyer of me finally tonight.
Ooh, you got a flyer?
Yes.
Send it to me. I want to see it. Por
Okay.
favor.
It's on Kane's page.
Oh, okay.
What's the name of that? Is that really bad? That's so bad.
I mean, it's not great, but it is what it is. Let's see. What does he say?
It's the Kringle poll, the Chris Kringle.
Kringle pool. Okay.
Why how could I even forget that?
Oh, look at what he said. She was dubbed Mountain Queen at her last event. Can you conquer the queen or will your arm get bent? Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Stephanie, get the strap, Spencer.
I want to send that to Paul Italia. Where is he?
I don't know.
Just kidding. Because he was always joking that get the strap.
Right. Fair.
Yeah.
But speaking of Arnold qualifier, okay. No, you're good. Knuckles Up just announced that they have another female match, and I told you all on the podcast when we had, well, it was the night after we had Heidi, that Heidi was gonna pull Gabby, and she
That
is
awesome.
So Heidi versus Gabby. I am so excited for this, and happening at Knuckles Up January 25th. Oh, it's gonna be juicy. It's gonna be juicy. So, what was it? King of the Table happened today. Shout out to all the competitors there. I won't spoil anything. There's some spoilers in the comments, so don't read the comments if you haven't watched it yet. But that from what I saw, the little clips that I've seen and the commentary that I've seen so far, it was a good one. So I can't wait to go
How
back.
did the strongman do?
I literally just said I'm not doing spoilers. Let me say though, it excelled expectations. Like I had tears in my eyes. I was laughing so hard. And then they actually arm wrestled too on top of it, because I know that was like kind of a big thing. Some people are anyway, some people are kind of like, oh, they were both terrible, and some people are like, they did so good. I'm on this. They were actually very good for having 5 weeks of prep. I think they did very well. So, but anyway, that's just me. Don't hate me if you watch it and you have a different opinion. You're allowed to have a different opinion, but it was definitely worth the pay-per-view in my opinion.
I was watching some of his backstage videos where he was spraying the fart spray on him and pretending like nothing happened, and like trying to blame it on
the little doll he made. Doll he made with his face on it. I can't. I'm gonna make one for Scarlett next time we pull each other. I'm gonna make a little Scarlett doll. I was like, oh, that's a good idea, Eddie. But yeah, go watch King of the Table, or wait till the clips are out on YouTube. Whatever you want to do. Live your best life. And we will see you guys here next week. Next week, the podcast is at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, because we are interviewing the Sweden Queens, Mullen and Fia. They're going to talk about their East versus West 15 match. So it's going to be fun.
Awesome.
So make sure you tune in for that. And that's all I got. Any other housekeeping items for anybody? No? Cool. So thank you all for tuning in. Ellen, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You have been a doll, and I cannot wait to see what 2025 holds for you. And can't wait to meet you in person. So thanks, everybody. Y'all pull safe, pull hard, be smart. See you next time.